All polymer 80% lower receivers currently on the market are injection molded. Some aspects of the design make it a difficult candidate for injection molding. For example, thin walls, thin profile areas are very easy to injection mold with high accuracy and high precision. The problem we run into are these thicker areas. The difficulty with thicker areas is it takes the plastic a longer time to cure within that thicker area. As plastic's curing, there's a small shrinkage factor onto the plastic. The difficulty in thick areas is that the outside cures first. As the outside cures, the inside attempts to shrink. That attempt to shrink is held back because the outside's already cured. So what happens is the plastic actually creates small little holes within its structure called vacuum voids. Now, vacuum voids are inherent in any thick part injection molded. This is one of the cross sections from one of our competitors' part. You'll notice these vacuum voids happen randomly within the part. Some of them are quite close to the edges. In other words, it's very common as you're milling through to have a little tube of epoxy nearby so that you can fill in some of these parts. Now, although that generally doesn't provide a huge structural issue, you will notice that this part, where it broke, happened to be right through an area with a whole lot of those voids. It definitely does create a weak point. At Genesis, we decided to do things a little bit differently. Our part has a proprietary process step in it so that our vacuum voids are all centrally located. Now, we don't have any more or any less vacuum voids than anyone else would. That's inherent with everyone injection molding. We're all going to have the same small little air gaps throughout it, because it's not a matter of how much plastic we're putting in, it's a matter of the plastic trying to cool throughout this thick area. But you'll notice that ours are all centrally located right in the middle of what becomes your fire control pocket. In other words, although we don't have some secret formula to reinvent injection molding and get rid of these vacuum voids altogether, ours are all located in one area that you're probably going to run into milling out. However, once you run into them, they're gone and removed from the system. And ideally, you'll never actually run up with a void on the outside. Now, if you do wind up with one of those voids, it's generally not a big deal. But we believe that the vast majority of our customers will never see those voids outside of the area that you cut out. If you're cutting one of these parts and run into one of these areas, don't worry, don't get concerned. In fact, you actually might thank us that you're not seeing these random parts that we have no control over.